Welcome to Let the Quran Speak. I'm Sophia, your host. We're continuing our series on misunderstood Quranic verses. You know, there are some verses of the Quran that we read and we think we know, but then on second thought, when we actually think about it, we realize, something is different or strange about this. So that's what we're going to be looking at in this series. Dr. Shabir, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Pleasure to be on.
We're looking at misunderstood verses, Dr. Shabir, of the Quran. And the verse we're looking at is from chapter 6, verse 131. And it goes like this. This is because your Lord would never destroy a community for its wrongdoing while its people are unaware. So tell me, Dr. Shabir, what this verse is about and how people have interpreted.
Yeah, so the verse basically says in Arabic, ذَلِكَ أَنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ رَبُّكَ مُهْلِكَ الْقُرَى بِظُلْمٍ وَأَهْلُهَا غَافِلُونَ. So it's difficult to translate without skewing the meaning this way or that way. So basically,
I guess I've already skewed the meaning in my translation.
Don't worry about it. That is because God will not destroy a people for their wrongdoing or on account of their wrongdoing while they are unaware, which means they have not received the message yet. Another alternative to this translation, and the one which I will favor here, is that is because God will not unjustly punish people while they were unwarned or they're unaware.
Mm-hmm. So the word in question that we're discussing is dhulm, right?
Yeah. So the word in Arabic is dhulm, dhulm. And then the question for the translator is this word connected to the action of God? Or is it connected to the action of the people? So connected to the action of the people, that's easy to understand. People could be unjust, and the question now is whether God is going to punish them for their injustice. Tying that to God, it seems a little bit strange, because are we like committing some effrontery here with God, daring to suggest that he might be unjust in some way? But the Quran is very clear here about elsewhere. Elsewhere in the Quran, it's very clear that God is not going to be unjust. God is denying. God is not going to be unjust. So he's never going to be unjust. And God, this is repeated several times in the Quran. وَمَا اللَّهُ بِظَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. God is not going to be unjust towards his bonds people. The same idea seems to be reflected here, that God is not going to be unjust. If he were to punish people without first sending them messengers, then one might say that, okay, this seems to be like high-handedness or arbitrariness on the part of God. Like he just created people, and then they didn't know what's right and wrong, and then he just simply destroyed them because they didn't do what is right. And how could they have done what is right without knowing what is right? And how could they have known what is right without God's first sending them messengers to inform them? Of course, God also created human beings with intellect, with aql, and so they can, through the use of their intellect, know some levels of differentiation between right and wrong. And then the messages that come through God's messengers, would then reinforce what is already discovered through the intellect, and even enhance the understanding of the intellect, and point out things which perhaps the intellect might have overlooked. So the two go hand in hand. But the end result is that it is that message from the messengers which caps it off and mark people off for destruction if they disobey the messenger. Sometimes they make an attempt on the life of the messenger and so on. They go really overboard in their denial of the truth. That's when God destroys them. Now, the context of this verse, it just follows from God mentioning in the previous verses, just prior to this, that God has been sending messengers one after another. So, and then it says, ذَلِكَ أَنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ رَبُّكَ مُهْلِكَ الْقُرَى. That is because. So that is because it's referring back to the fact that he just simply just finished saying that I've sent the messengers to you, so really you have no excuse. And that's when people might be destroyed, because they have no excuse left. They have disobeyed the messengers, and they have thwarted the plan of God for them. Or rather, to put it a different way, they have reneged and rebelled against the plan of God for them. So the classical commentators on the Quran did not want to think that God could be unjust even if he destroyed people in the way that we were just discussing. Like, let's say God
didn't even want to put unjust beside God's actions at all, even if God is saying that he wouldn't be unjust.
Yeah, because from their perspective, even if God were to create some creatures and then arbitrarily just destroyed them, God wouldn't be unjust. Why? Because from their perspective, God is God. These are his creatures. He has the full right to do with his creatures whatever he wants.
And that would still be just.
And that would still be just, right? So, Sophia, the atheist objection to this would be that you're saying that justice really has no meaning, because no matter what God does, whether what we consider just or what we might consider unjust, that's all considered to be justice. So they would say that this seems to be, very arbitrary meaning of the word justice. But of course, the way that I've explained it shows that God is not unjust, and he will not do the things which he has given us minds to understand are unjust things. So God would not just simply create people and then destroy them, but rather he creates people, he gives them the free choice between good and bad. He gives them the intellect to recognize the difference between good and bad. He sends messengers to further reinforce and enhance and further inform that intellect. And when people, blatantly refuse God's messengers and even sometimes attack the messengers, that is when God destroys them, when, hope has been lost for their reform. And so God destroys them and replaces them with another people.
Thank you, Dr. Shabir, for offering us this reinterpretation.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised a third of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiya and I are gone.
Please support our work at muslimmediahub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.